A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Films I'm Willing to Talk About Again. And let's just say that with all the examples that I have been able to talk a little bit about, or even a lot about, I never would have figured that once in my life I actually would have come across one that I have seen before. And yet, what do I see on the web? Reviews of it. Not just any reviews though. Surf Ninjas from 1993 certainly does hold a lot of examples out there. In and of itself, it's probably a bad film. Probably. I was able to watch it once in my life, then twice, then 3 times. Well, not too recently I saw it again, just so I could prep myself up for a time where I will be able to talk about it again here on my channel, or pretty much anywhere on social media, really. I can't quite picture exactly a good time that I would be able to talk about something like this, especially when I still have no clear understanding of why it needed to exist. Because with such a weird cliche title, Surf Ninjas, are they ninjas that surf, or are they the opposites? Are they surfers that went to a local dojo and are now training to be ninjas? So, just knowing from that title alone, it really opens up the possibility to your own imagination, to the point where you might not actually want to watch the film, but instead be distracted, to the point of which you want to find out yourself, how exactly does the title play out to what the plot shows, and also what does the character arcs, development, screenplay, writing, directing, producing, etc. all have to do to come together into one unique little pick from '93. Well, in any case though, this is in fact the story of a few brothers who learn that they are in fact newcomers to a palace, and they are in fact next in line to be the heirs. But while they do so, these local surfers, whom of course are played by the likes of Rob Schneider, Ernie Reyes Sr., and Ernie Reyes Jr., and we also can't forget about other cast members, including the one and only Naked Gun guy himself, Leslie Nielsen. So, I'd say right off the bat, that probably is a rather memorable cast, especially when I've gotten to know about these actors over the years, and the many other films that they have been a part of. But yet, I'm not ultimately sure why they decided to be a part of this. But yet again, when looking at the history of Paul Rudd, for example, how his acting career has turned up, he was at first in a Halloween sequel, and eventually turned up to other films, including the crappy remake of Dinner for Cretins, which is known as Dinner for Schmucks, in 2010. And then, of course, with many other films that have come out since then, well, let's just say that Rudd's career has certainly lived up to his own name and gotten much better as time went on. But then again, when looking at the cast members for this film from '93, I'm not ultimately sure why they decided to go on ahead and try to give a somewhat absurd idea like Surf Ninjas out there. This did in fact score an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it might have had a box office scoring of over $4 million, but that's not ultimately the reason why this thing became so garbage. I still don't really look at this with much honor and much satisfaction, and I feel like that the reasons, aside from what I've already mentioned, are even bigger than what I've already covered on. And I feel like that more people out there happen to know more about the film than I do. Even though I've watched this multiple times, I'm still not clear enough about how does this film actually do bad. So, if you can yourself find out this kind of stuff, do be sure to let me know on this right away. Because after all this research I've done, all this other stuff I've noted, and all that, it just really goes to show New Line Cinema sure has had a lot of trial and error, and even to this day, they still do have to have a lot of work in order to get up to the levels of other such companies like Warner Bros., Universal, and the Walt Disney Company. Of course, this will take a lot of time, but we'll eventually see what happens down the line. In any case, though, that's just pretty much all I will want to talk about on this film. Considering how I had the guts to mention it again, I can't really say that I will want to talk about this again in the future. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.